very excited because after 2 years of meeting students from STEMAway only virtually, today is the day that I get to meet a couple of our amazing students, and not only amazing, but multi-year students in person. So ladies, welcome. It's so exciting to see you. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about your STEMAway journey, both so I can understand it and also maybe so other students can understand what's going on and what STEMAway means to you and could mean to them. Have you guys stuck with what you started with, or are you interested in a variety of things now, or, you know, are you coming back next year and are you going to try something new?
Personally, I think that I'm kind of sticking to bioinformatics, but I also like to also bring in some machine learning into that, because I believe that machine learning can be really valuable when you intermingle it with bioinformatics and bring the two subjects together.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, actually last year I did both full stack and UX design, and so I was able to try both of them, and ultimately I found out that I liked full stack a bit more. I liked more of the technical side, and so this summer I came back and I did full stack. I'm sure that there's so much to explore, and I can always look at the pathway hubs and see different modules to kind of test out, so I'm sure I'll branch out into something else.
So then you did your first summer, you went to school. The first summer you guys were participants in the program. Not only did you decide to come back to the program, you decided to come back and apply for lead positions. So tell me, you know, kind of your thought process and what made you want to do that.
Personally, I wanted to get some project management experience, because most jobs or intern experiences have the higher up people doing project management. So I figured that if I had a little bit of knowledge about the pathway, I would be able to apply it in a way that would be meaningful and where I could learn a lot.
That's great.
Yeah, for me, I had such amazing leads last summer, and I think their leadership and just welcoming vibes, whatever, really affected me and made me more interested, and so I wanted to kind of share that with other people who might still be on the fence about full stack, and really just show them that there's a lot of amazing things that you can do, and I wanted to be a part of that.
So tell me, so when you got your lead positions, what was the one thing that you were a little bit apprehensive about, or a little bit scared about, or that in that first meeting, what was the one thing that made you a little bit nervous?
I think definitely the amount of people that we'd have to lead, because we're doing a project with R Shiny. I didn't know anything about R Shiny. We had programming experience from last summer, but that was new. So I figured it'd be a bit difficult to figure out how to group all of these people together and kind of put them on the same path.
I'd say I was going through some of the profiles of people before, and they were like San Jose State or other places, and I was like, they have so much more education than me, they probably know so much more, and so I was kind of scared, would I be able to fill the shoes that I'd been given?
That is a real work issue, right? And one of the things I love about STEMAway is that they're solving real work problems. And a real work issue is you go in and you're managing or you're leading, and the people around you potentially have more experience, or they're older, or they're a little more confident, or any of these variety of things. And STEMAway, I feel gives you a unique opportunity to kind of face that, so you know what to expect, in your work life. So these things that made you a little bit nervous, so you click your camera on, everybody comes on, you say that first sentence, and then at what point do you realize, you know what, I can lead this team, absolutely no problem?
I think definitely that click happened after I started talking with the more skilled members of our team, asking them questions. They would always give answers that would allow me to understand, oh, this is where I should put these people and do this, and this is how I can bring everybody together. And then I felt a lot less intimidated by the whole thing.
I love that. How about you?
Yeah, for me, it was meeting with the other leads in my group. We'd have lead-only meetings and just seeing how supportive they were and how much they could bring, and together how much we could accomplish. I think seeing the different skill sets we had made me more confident that I could lead everyone and that we would be able to do a nice final project.
My understanding is that you were both on amazing projects. Your work product was incredible. That both of you, your teams individually got great feedback from people in industry and people in specific areas that were not students and were not STEMAway. So tell me a little bit about your project, what you ended up with, and I know you guys are not going to want to. Tell me a little bit about some of the kudos that you got for that, and kind of, at the end, how you felt about being part of something like that.
So our product was actually a Our Shiny app, which is allows a user to input bioinformatics data into it to get analysis for using a bioinformatics pipeline. So it'll give you the outputs like the graphs and the values of the most significant genes in certain data sets. And it allows users who are maybe less familiar with bioinformatics, maybe they're just researchers or they just want to get into bioinformatics, it allows them to use the pipeline without having to figure out all the nitty-gritty of the code.
And you forgot to tell me the part about what great things people said about your project.
Yeah, we were told numerous times that it's very straightforward. We have documentation which allows users to refer to a certain text for each step, so that if it's a little bit more complicated, it allows them to read through, maybe figure out what every step means. Like that straightforwardness of the app was complimented a lot. And we were even told that we could put it on a online platform, maybe to give more access to people who don't want to set it up in R and stuff like that.
I love that. And then how about your project?
My project was an upvote feature, so kind of like Reddit, where you can press upvote if you like a reply and it'll go higher, and so people will see it first. So it's usually the most relevant ones pop up first. And we noticed that STEMAway kind of lacked this feature, so we basically implemented one. And I think some of the things we've heard are that this is a very necessary feature. This is totally we could totally expand on this, and I think that's been great to hear.
And what community were you guys part of in your project?
We were part of the Discourse community, which is basically an open source forum site.
You've both done these great projects. You've both been leads. How'd you feel coming out of the summer? How did you feel, after you presented your project, you got this great feedback? How'd you feel?
I think it was super rewarding to have such positive feedback for our app, because we put a lot of time and effort into it. Seeing that towards the end, people were working so well together, having the gears turn smoothly, it was really, really satisfying.
My reaction was, I can't believe we did this, because throughout the entire summer I was kind of oh, I don't know if I can really achieve this final project. I mean, we had so many setbacks along the way, and I was I don't think this is going to come together. And I was really excited that after the entire summer and all our hard work, that we had something tangible to show.
So another thing that I think that there's not a lot of opportunity for are for students to collaborate across not only different levels of education, but across different schools and across the world. And I feel like this opportunity gives you such a space to be so collaborative. Tell me a little bit about that and what that felt like. And did you make friends, or did you make people that you would network with later, or did you make people meet people that you would think, gosh, you know what, ultimately I'd really like to work with them. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about kind of the personal aspect of it.
Oh yeah, so I think working with people across the globe was super valuable, because people who are brought up in different places offer very different perspectives, and it's really interesting to speak with them. One of the girls I was talking to the most, she was from Canada, so obviously it's a lot different, but I thought it was really interesting working with her, and I think she's one of the people I'll probably continue to work with, as well as our technical lead or technical mentor, Samuel. While he was a couple of levels above us in terms of bioinformatics as a whole, he wanted, rather than to learn more about bioinformatics, to have teamwork experience. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, and I hope to work with him again, because he's super, super talented.
Love that. How about you?
I don't have one specific person in mind that I particularly bonded with, but I'd say that all of the people on our team, we would like add each other on LinkedIn, and I kind of just see their updates as they go through their summers and like their next years. And I think just seeing everything that they do branching out from STEMAway, that's really inspiring. And I know that if I ever want something, I can probably go to one of my STEMAway connections and they can probably help me with it.
Absolutely, without question. So it sounds like you guys had great summers last summer, great summer this summer, had a lot of things that you learned and that you're excited about. So then just for the icing on the cake of the summer, tell us a little bit about your New York Times article that STEMAway is incredibly, one, proud of you guys, and two, excited that STEMAway meant enough to you for you to write this article and get so far in this competition that, you know, if I look up STEMAway New York Times right now, I can see that you guys wrote an article about us. So tell me what led you to do that?
I thought that programming was kind of not my thing. In the beginning, it seemed a little boring. I'd taken some classes and I didn't like it. But then having the STEMAway experience where we like learned programming in the context of bioinformatics really helped me like develop a liking for it. I think that if something similar like STEMAway could be implemented in school, that would be super cool for people who may be like kind of shying away from programming because of the same things that I went through.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just noticed the stark difference between what I learned at STEMAway in programming versus what I learned in school at programming. And I realized that, yeah, if we kind of took this STEMAway education and infused it into our school lessons, they'd be a lot more interesting and a lot more relevant to life. And I think that was really what inspired me to continue in this area, and that's why I wanted to write about it.
Yeah, well, it's super exciting for us that you guys had those experiences and wanted to share it with people. So thank you, because we really appreciate that. Now let me ask you one last thing. Students have a variety of opportunities of what to do with their summer. And so some people think, well, I'm going to work at Baskin-Robbins. I understand that's oddly specific, but I'm an ice cream girl. But, you know, or I want to, you know, I'll work at a camp or I'll do something. What would you say to students who are like, oh yeah, super not interested in that, to make them understand what STEMAway really is and what it could really mean?
I definitely mentioned the fact that it's super unique in the mentor chains kind of system where you get to learn from other students who are also learning. I think that learning like that is very different and it's very helpful as well because having not lower level, but slightly closer to you in knowledge mentors allows for a better communication of how to go about learning things, and you feel more camaraderie with your mentors, which makes the whole project way more enjoyable. And yeah, I think it's definitely also really great to work with people all over the world and have like a diverse group, a team, because of the broad perspectives you get to like see and understand.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that that's wonderful. What do you think?
It's been said many times, but STEMAway is such a unique opportunity, and honestly, I never thought that I'd be able to work on such a deep and technical project at a high school level, but I think STEMAway does a great job at giving you the resources to learn and providing you with space to kind of learn from others, and I think that's really unique because you get technical skills and you get like team working skills that you probably wouldn't get if you worked at a lot of other places.
Yeah, thank you. That is wonderful. We're hopeful to see you guys back next summer where you're leading another team or leading a project or leading a pathway. I mean, another exciting thing about STEMAway is there's room to keep growing and growing and growing until you are, in a technical position where you are mentoring an entire pathway, and there's even more things possible. So it was great to meet you guys in person. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next summer.